Needed to plug in my microphone here. Uh, okay. Yeah. So let's get started. Let's get started. Gonna try using this build today. Same deck archetype, but I'm gonna use Paede's list. Gonna change the side a couple of cards, I think. But yeah, let's see. Haven't been doing well with the previous Reasoning Gate list. I mean, I don't know. It does seem like things are just never going my way. That was my perception. Now perceptions can be wrong, but it just seemed like every time I had a bad hand, my opponent had a good hand. Every time I had a good hand, my opponent had like the absolute nut hand. And yeah, we just weren't doing so well. We just really were not doing so well. We were losing to bad matchups. We were even losing to some decks that should be good matchups because if you just open trash, like it's hard to do much. So we're gonna try this. I mean, this is a bit of a faster build, a bit more card draw and deck thinning, and maybe that's what we need. To be honest, I mean, might be what we need, might not be what we need. We'll have to see. But this is Paede's build from, I don't know. I guess this deck is like a year old at this point, something like that. But it got whatever it was, first place a year ago or something. So if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me, I think. I just might change the side a little bit. I don't know if we really need like 2 token Thanksgiving, right? Like I feel like 1 vortex and 1 token Thanksgiving is usually enough. But I suppose I could be wrong. I mean, it's funny, with the other deck, I had 6 Reasoning Gate targets. This deck has 4, I don't know, kind of 4.5, because Toon Cannon Soldier, oftentimes you're thinning that out. And I kept running into this problem where I would like draw into my Reasoning Gate targets, and then my Reasonings and Monster Gates can't do anything, right? So I fear like that could happen with like this deck too, where it's like, if you just open like your Democ and your Jinzo, all of a sudden like your Reasonings and Monster Gates can't do anything. Like they're probably just gonna call 4 on Reasoning a lot. I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I know like Noelle, an even older build than this. Noelle, she solved the problem by like just playing Reload, which is kind of radical. But the idea was like, oh, if I draw like my Democ and my Jinzo, I can just reload them back. But yeah, I think this deck is good. I think this deck is good, so we're gonna try it. We're gonna try to learn something. Actually, sorry, I didn't want to like change the side. I do like having duo in the side for combo matchups. I don't know if I think you can't see the side. This is the side. I don't know. I also don't know if I like swords. But we're gonna try it. We're gonna find out. We're gonna see. Well, I mean, you can play Air Knight. My builds, my build is playing Air Knight, but this is the problem with Air Knight in general. Even in like my build, you're not playing Air Knight because it's like a good card. You're playing Air Knight because like it's the next best light monster after Sacred Crane, and you don't want to play like 3 Sacred Cranes. This build, though, like, it really only needs 2 light monsters, so we could just get away with not playing the Air Knight. The reason why it's in the side is you just side it in for decks like Goat Control. That's sort of the idea. Although, to be honest, even for that matchup, it can be a little risky, because if they go, like, Snatch, Meta, and Debalter, all of a sudden, they just kind of turn the tables on you. So I don't think this deck needs to side Air Knight, actually. Like, you can definitely just not put it in the side at all. But the problem with Air Knight is that it draws a card in the battle phase. And like Sacred Crane, drawing a card in your main phase is a lot better, right? Because you can use that card that you drew to put more stuff on the board in your main phase, right? Whereas if Air Knight draws you into a card like, say it draws you into Monster Gate, Well, you can Monster Gate in main phase 2, which isn't that great, or you just hold the Monster Gate and use it for, like, next turn. So, like, either way, Air Knight, the problem is it's not helping you, like, combo off that turn. So this deck is kind of about big pushes, whereas, like, Air Knight is... Air Knight is a control card, not a combo card, is kind of what I'm trying to get at. But I do want to change this list a bit. I do want a Delinquent Duo in the side. It could be pretty good in the mirror, and if we happen to, like... We did play, like, Empty Jar, like, once on stream before, and if you run into something like Empty Jar, Duo is, like, really good there, too. So, like, I don't think we need double Token Thanksgiving. And I don't know, we might want triple Threatening Roar, but I don't think so. I don't know. Let's try this. Let's try this. But yeah, it's like, of course, Threatening Roar is better than Karibo. The problem with Karibo is that it messes up your reasoning in Monster Gate. Server's taking an unusual amount of time to find someone to pair me with. And this is why, by the way, I know people always say, like, oh, once you get to, like, a higher rating, you play against better players. Now, if we were, like, in the advanced format pool, that would definitely be true. But, like, in GOAT format, it's not, just because if the system, like, can only find one other person in the queue, it pairs you with that person regardless of what their rating is, right? Like, it won't sit there and make you wait for an hour so that you can play someone with your rating. And I think that's, again, people who aren't familiar with, like, how matchmaking works maybe don't understand that. That's kind of an aside. This hand is... I don't know. I don't really like this hand. I mean, we'll just say go. We don't know what the matchup is yet. Oh, okay. I think this version of the deck does a little better against Warriors than the other list. But this Donzalug is still not pleasant. I got, like, okay. He got our Chaos Sorcerer, which I guess... I mean, that's not the worst card he could hit, right? Like, I can live with him hitting the Chaos Sorcerer. Oh, this is cool, actually. This is really cool. I'm gonna True Nade. Alright. It'll be very easy to kill him now. Should be. I mean, his two back rows could just both be, like, amazing cards. But unless he has, like, second... I don't know. If he has 3 Solemns, I can't beat that. If he has a second Solemn, you know, I'm not sure. Yeah, so now, like, here's the problem. I'm gonna set Crane and Monster Gate. And if he Solemns this, I think I lose. But I have double gate and 3 targets, so I've got a 2 out of 3 chance of getting Demock. And if we get Demock, the game is just over. And now he's got a 50% chance. Yeah, I mean, I had a 2 out of 3 chance of getting DMOC and I didn't get it. Like, this has just been how all of my matches have been going. Where it's like, every single game, I put myself in this amazing position where it's like, oh, I've got a 90% chance to win. And then, like, the 10% just comes every single time. And it is just so frustrating because I've played such a large number of matches. And it just seems like it happens every single time. Like, every single time where I put myself where, oh, I have good odds. I have good odds of winning this game. The odds never come. And now I have no cards. I mean, I guess I can top deck a Chaos Monster and maybe get back in the game that way. Okay, well, I mean, I'm dead. Of course I drew a brick. Like... It had 2 out of 3 odds to hit the DMOC. 2 out of 3 odds to hit the DMOC. Can't get it. Well, we want Mirror Torrential. I mean, I assume this is a matchup where Raigeki Break comes in. I don't know if we're supposed to bring in Ring here. I don't know if we're supposed to bring in Ring. Because it's awkward in that if your opponent summons, like, I don't know, say they summon like a Blade Knight and attack you, and you Ring it, you're still taking the damage, right? Because Ring is dealing yourself that same amount of damage. I mean, I assume Swords comes in. And it's like, what's supposed to come out? I don't know. This feels like one of these matchups where we have like a bunch of cards that we can side in, but nothing that like we're super excited about siding out. I mean, maybe a Dimension Fusion can come out. Because of like Kaiku. And like maybe the Monster Reincarnation could come out just because it's like kind of situational-ish, and also like Kaiku's banishing Chaos Monsters. And then like, okay, sure, we can take out like a Jar Greed. I mean, let's like try this. Yeah, I mean, I opened, like, Toon Table with, like, the Toon Cannon Soldier already in my hand. Ironically enough, I would be, like, less concerned if this was a Chaos deck. But, like, Warriors having Pot Graceful and just being able to kind of, like, sort of fix their hands. You know, he's gonna come out of the gates very strong. Okay, that's... I mean, Mystic Swordsman level 2 shouldn't even be in his deck. That's just an awful card. Machine Gate's a different deck. The idea is that I play the same deck type on stream. Yeah, I mean, I like Reasoning Gate. Again, it's a good deck, and it's just, I feel like I play off. It's funny. I'll play off stream and go like 10-0, and then I fire up the stream and I just start drawing awful. Like it's very annoying. And once again, I'm in this spot with Monster Double Gate. And I've got a 2 out of 3 chance to hit the DMOC. Same scenario as last turn. Miss the DMOC. And we'll see if I hit it this time. Yeah, he just has double like, my opponent just opens like the absolute nuts. Like, oh, I have Pot Graceful, double Solemn. Like, I wish there was something I could do, but it's like no deck is beating this opening, right? Like, when you open Pot Graceful, to get back the monster you discarded, and double Solemn, like, no deck is ever beating this. And that's just what the whole stream has been like. All of my opponents just open the absolute nuts every game, and then people go, oh, Alan, why don't you switch decks? Well, it's like, when my opponent opens the absolute nuts, it's not gonna matter what deck I'm playing, right? Like, I could be playing any deck and I would lose to this. Like, yeah, I can't do anything. My hand's all bricks. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's very hard to win when your opponent just opens like the absolute best hand they can have like every single game. The only way his hand could have been better is if he had Duo 2. Or if he had like Donzlug to, you know, start discarding cards turn 1. This hand is pretty good. This hand's good, but it's also kind of like a draw pass type hand. We're just gonna draw pass for the first few turns. Is he playing Gravekeepers? Okay, I mean... I kind of wish we could play against, like, a real deck. I mean, this is fine, but... Alright, so the Death Sheet does nothing. I will make sure to shuffle my deck. Alright, so since my opponent could see my hand, I'll let you guys... Sorry, whoops. Oh, you were already seeing my hand. But yeah, I'll let you guys see too. But yeah, we'll just say go. What, Air Knight? Okay. Okay, he has Dust Shoot DD. I mean, this is just silly. Like, our opponent has DD Designator. Alright, well, I think my hand got a little better. I mean, obviously now I kind of have to do something. I can't just let this Air Knight sit here. Okay, he's gonna ring my token. I don't really care about that. But, I mean, I tell you, we've kind of got this problem here where it's like, you know, I'm gonna activate Reasoning. And, like, if he calls it correctly, I just kind of lose. And his highest odds would be to call level 4. Calling 4 would give him a 2 out of 4 chance of getting the reasoning correctly. If he calls 6 or 8, that gives him a 1 out of 4 chance. He called 8, which is, I think, the correct level for him to call. Yeah, obviously he calls it correctly, because they just all call... I mean, again, it's like every single scenario I'm in, I could just never get lucky. Like, they call all my reasonings correctly. Every time I gate, I get the absolute worst option. And I graceful into, like, 3 bricks. I mean, again, it's so silly. It's so silly. Like, this is what I graceful into. I just graceful into a bunch of cards that don't do anything. Yeah, and he calls 6. If I get the crane, though, we're going to have a really good play. But again, you know, 50-50 shot. The idea is to have, you know, get a crane, have the crane draw me a card, and then reincarnation for BLS. That was kind of the plan. I mean, we can gate into Jinzo, actually. The problem, though, with going gate into Jinzo is if it's the last card in my deck, I just lose. Sinister Serpent is awful in this deck. Asking how is Sinister Serpent in this deck is like asking how is Beaver Warrior in this deck. Like, it's just a horrible, unplayable card. And there's a reason that if you look at every single Reason Gate list that's ever topped a tournament, 0 of them have Sinister Serpent. And yet, for some reason, people still ask me about it, and I don't understand why. Anyways, I'm thinking whether to banish D-Mock or Toon Cannon Soldier, because I'm trying to see how many Dimension Fusions we have left in our deck. We have... Okay, so we still have 2 Dimension Fusions left in our deck. And Call's already gone, which means we do want to banish the D-Mock, because we have more Dimension Fusions than, like, Revive stuff. So even though we're actually down, like, a lot of cards here, I think this position is pretty decent. Because we have a decent amount of life points. Our opponent has already used... Ring. I don't even understand how some of this stuff got in there. But yeah, like, even if our opponent outed our board somehow, like, say he played a Lightning Vortex, 2 of our 7 cards in our deck were Dimension Fusion, and we just top deck any of those Dimension Fusions, and they win us the game. But yeah, I mean, there we got kind of lucky, because if that second reasoning did not get us the crane, like, we had a 50-50 shot to win the game, more or less. I mean, our first reasoning, we had a 75% chance to get a good card, and, we hit the 25. But then on the second reasoning, it actually did go our way. Alright, well, I am gonna Heavy Storm here with no follow-up, which I think is often a bad play, but I want to just go Snatch Shinzo, and I don't want him to have, like, a Dust Tornado. Setting both of these turn 1 is a really bad play, but I was worried that one might be, like, a Dust Tornado. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this. To some extent, I am kind of, like, burning through my resources here, but I think this is fine. He's gonna Heavy. We're just gonna Chain Goats. He might easily have, like, his own Snatch Steal, and if he does, like, we want to block the hits and gain some life, obviously. Yep, he does have a Snatch Steal. I mean, he makes it kind of obvious. If people activate Heavy there, it's always because they have Snatch Steal. So our opponent plays Dust Shoot. And I feel like we kind of want to play around that, especially since he plays DD Designator as well. I think we want to just be playing around, especially since I have Sork Dimension Fusion, right? Like, I kind of need to summon this Sork, and if he Dust Shoots back the Sork, we're gonna have a bad time. I don't know, I guess I'll just set this and say go. I don't know, maybe we're just supposed to side in Mirror Torrential for this matchup. Like, either one of those would be really, really nice right now. What? Okay. Oh, okay, this is good. Yeah, I mean, realize that, like, you can draw bad against any deck, you can draw good against any deck. Like, obviously in a tournament, I'm never gonna play against, like, a different dimension dragon DD Designator deck. Man, and he just calls it right again. Like, I tell you, if this reasoning gets Sacred Crane, even if he calls it correctly, we had a 2 out of 3 chance of the Sacred Crane coming off of the reasoning. And even, like, obviously statistically the correct level for him to call here is level 4. But since our hand was Chaos Sork Dimension Fusion, we would still beat that. But, like, obviously he called 8, gets Demock, we mill 0 cards. So it's really rough. It's hard to really do anything about that. Even still, even if I could just regularly draw a Sacred Crane, right? Even if I just, yeah, like, I don't even play the full 4 Chaos monsters. And yeah, like, even if I can just straight up draw a Sacred Crane, just draw and summon a Sacred Crane, like, the game's over. And, I'm still setting the player on Dust Shoot. But yeah, like, you can... Yeah, it's... Yeah, the Gordon Captain, what you said is exactly correct. That... Oh, cannot be destroyed by spell trap effects that do not target it. So it can be destroyed with spell or trap effects that do target it. Yeah, and now the problem is, like, we're just gonna take damage and not be able to Dimension Fusion anymore. The... Why would he even call BLS? I can't summon it. He activated Mind Crush and called BLS, but even if I had BLS, I couldn't summon it. Okay, he's... Sure. Alright, well, he's only attacking me for 12, so I can still Dimension Fusion. I assumed he would attack with something else, too. Alright, well, in the unlikely event that he has Solemn, I'm gonna Trunade here first. Because I have Pot Agreed, and I do not want to get my Pot Agreed Solemns. And of course, now I have Sacred Crane, but now I can't summon the Crane and crash it into the Blade Knight, because he doesn't have Blade Knight. So I guess my plan is just summon Crane and attack for 4. And say go. Because I can't do anything else. If he tributes for Air Knight and attacks over the Crane, I only take, I only take 3. I still don't know what this Sanctuary of the Sky is doing, if I'm being totally honest. And my opponent just doesn't know what his own cards do for some reason. You could lose to any pile. That's, like... Again, this is why people won't play this deck, because they don't want to lose to bad decks. But, like, that's just the nature of the game, right? Like, sometimes you lose to bad decks. He did play Air Knight Parshath. Air Knight is a fairy. But anyways, we're going to discard Dimension Fusion. And... I don't know, I'll discard Card Destruction, I guess. I mean, surely there must be some combo with Sanctuary in the Sky, right? Oh, if you have, like, if you have X, Y, and Z, well, Sanctuary in the Sky is in play. Do some really good thing. Right? Okay, so this can just run over both monsters. I don't know. I mean, he probably has an out, but he might not. Oh, he just conceded. That was 2-0, right? Did we lose a game? Was that 2-0 or 2-1? I mean, it doesn't matter. Oh, so we lost the last match, and then we won this one. But it's like, in general, like, I would say that I'm probably more likely to lose to something like this than I would lose to, say, like, the average goat control deck, just because this deck plays, like, 3 Blade Knights. And just a deck that has, like, a bunch of beaters puts more pressure on Reasoning Gate than something like goat control. I mean, I know that, like, sounds crazy, but same thing with, like, Earth Aggro, right? Like, Earth Aggro can be kind of tough, too. This deck is, or sorry, this hand, rather, is very good. Let me just turn these back on. No, I don't think Earth Aggro has a winning matchup. I mean, it depends. Game 1, I definitely think they're not favored. Games 2 and 3, after they side in 3 King Tigers, I think it gets a lot better. It's hard to say what it is overall. Yeah, I think I am just going to Graceful turn 1. I think let's discard, like, Light Dark. Discarding Light Dark has to be good, right? Yeah, I mean, this is, like, a very strong opening. I mean, we thinned our deck out by 10 cards on turn 1. I think it's pretty hard to lose after that opening, but, you know, never say never. Earth Aggro doesn't normally play Triple Dust, does it? Thinking whether I should Goats here or not. I think probably not. I actually don't have, like, a True Nade here. A True Nade would be, like, really, really nice, but I just don't have it. We could have just passed again. It might have just been better to pass. Alright, he called 8. I mean, 8 is definitely the level that he should be calling. I'm trying to think. If I have 5 cards left in my deck, if Demok is the last card, can I win this turn? That's kind of the question of the day. I think I can. I actually think I can. Um, all right, it's not the last card. So I need to figure out what the last card in my deck is to see if we should Jar of Greed into it. Like, is it? It's not Churnade. Oh, is it Dimension Fusion? Oh, it's no. All 3D fusions are gone. Is it a monster? So hold on. My deck plays 6, 9 monsters. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on, am I forgetting one? Or no. It plays 5. Yeah, 5 plus 3 is 8, so it's not a monster. Is it goats? No, my goats is set. Is it a reasoning or a monster gate? Reasoning. Oh, it's reasoning, right? Okay, it's reasoning. So Jar of Greed is not helpful here. But what we can do is we can go... Yeah, Jar of Greed set. I'm figuring out if I should Jar into the last card, but it's reasoning, so we shouldn't. That's what I'm figuring out. I think we just want Churnade, right? Yeah, we can just go... What if it's goats? If it's goats, do we beat that? If there's goats, there's just nothing we can do, right? If it's goats, it's goats. Yeah, there's just nothing we can do. But we can go Trunade, Reincarnation for BLS, and, like, attack over all the things. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So now we can just, go Tribute for Jinzo. Free the Demok. Demok will get back, I don't know, Dimension Fusion? And then we'll just go, Reincarnation, discard Snatch. Yeah. We were dealing, like, an assload of damage there. Luckily, my opponent was reasonable about me, like, sitting there checking my grave forever. But yeah, that definitely did end up, like, being kind of important. We don't really know what deck our opponent is on. We don't really know what... Oh, we saw Sangan and Book. We saw Sangan Book. Did he have, like, Pot of Greed or something? Yeah, normal summon Sangan, set it back. Sangan and Book could be almost anything. I mean, Demok doesn't lose the ability, that's just its ability. If this face-up card would leave the field. That's just what the card says. I don't know what to tell you. Um, I mean, Sangan and Book, it's probably just like Chaos Turbo, right? I mean, he didn't discard like a Thunder Dragon turn one. He didn't activate Upstart. It's probably either like Chaos Turbo. I mean, it could also be Goat Control, but I don't know. I guess we just won't side anything because I don't really have anything that we can make an argument that we should side, you know? Set, set, set. Dust shoot. Uh, is this monster scary? Not really, right? Like, worst he can probably do is flip a spy and attack us for 24. Yeah, we'll just say go. Skilled Dark Magician. Maybe this is like Goat Control. Oh my god, he has Morphing Jar. Oh my god. That Morphing Jar is absolutely brutal. And it's like I didn't even discard something good, right? Like I drew Pre, and I didn't even like discard something good off the Morphing Jar to get back with Pre. What I don't understand is why he didn't summon Reaper. Like, why would you not just summon Reaper instead of Skilled Dark Magician? That's what really confuses me. Like, does he just not want to discard a card from my hand? I'm just absolutely... I am very confused. Oh, okay, I guess he's gonna, like, Last Will for Stein or something. Well, it's weird, because if he just summoned Reaper, he could have pre'd back the Skilled Dark. I don't know, I mean, I guess he's... Oh, and then it dies and triggers the Last Will. That's kind of gross. I mean, he could have just Last Willed on the Reaper dying. I mean, it's the same shit. Uh, 30. Yeah, if he just gets Master of Oz, we're dead. Yeah, okay. Right, because this is 32, 49. Yeah, that's 81. That was silly. That was incredibly silly. So I mean, I guess we probably want some number of threatening roars. Maybe both. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We pass and just die. I mean, that can happen sometimes. I mean, I always say that, like, Scapegoat is the most important card for Reasoning Gate because it, like, it protects your life points and it sets up your combo. In this deck, we also play Toon Cannon. So yeah, it's like, it's funny. If I had, like, one card that I could choose to open with every game, it would probably be Scapegoat. Uh... Well, hopefully I don't die again. I mean, you know, I have 3 goats, 2 threatening roars. Couldn't get either one. This hand is... I don't know. This hand is kind of mid. So yeah, Crane goes to our grave. I feel like in this deck, getting the light in your grave is like really important for like a lot of what you're trying to do, you know? Alright, let's give this a shot. I don't think we're gonna win this turn unless I get really lucky. I don't know, I could win this turn. It's not, like, totally out of the question. If he had, like, Chain Ring here, that would be really good. No, he did not Chain Ring. But yeah, if we get DMOC here, we got a 50-50 shot to get a DMOC, and if we get the DMOC, I think we win this turn. And even if we don't get the DMOC, it's like, we're probably still doing okay, because we're gonna get either a DMOC or a Crane. I don't know, sometimes it can be hard to figure out with this deck, like, should we go off this turn? Should we go off another turn? I feel like we should have game here somehow. I'm just trying to figure out how. Can we just go Reincarnation for BLS and win that way? Do we have... Yeah, we have Reincarnation in our grave. So we can just go Reincarnation for BLS. On. Defusion, defusion, defusion. Reincarnation for BLS. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3. Okay, so we'll just do it this way. Okay. So what I was gonna do here, I'll show you my hand. What I was gonna do is go banish this, opponent takes 500, defusion, get back defusion, banish, opponent takes 500, defusion the 3rd time, get back DMOC, use DMOC the 3rd time, get back monster reincarnation, activate monster reincarnation, discard Jinzo, get back BLS, Special Summon BLS. Premature Burial will now go to 400. Get back Jinzo. And then we go attack, 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 attack. If he has Karibo, worst case scenario, he prevents a 3k. He takes 14, 14, 28, 56, 8,000, plus 2,000 more from Cannon Soldier. Even through Karibo, this would be 11,000 damage. So actually, I think this would even win through double Karibo, if my math is correct. That's just some quick maths. But yeah, I think that line wins through double Karibo. So, what time is it? What time is it? Oh, it's only 11. I don't know what time my wife's getting home today. But I think we got time for, I'd say, at least 2 more matches. I don't know. I don't know if I like this build better than the old one. I think it's probably better. Yeah, I think it's probably better, but I only think it's, like, slightly better, you know? I mean, this list is definitely better at being a combo deck, which is the main thing reasoning decks are trying to do. Alright, this is fine. Just don't play, like... Okay, yeah, this is fine. Like, Thunder Dragon, set a back row pass. It's definitely something I can deal with. I actually think overall I've been liking the Jargreeds. I mean, is Jargreed the nuts? No, but it's probably better than next best option. I feel like the only thing I would want to fit in this list is one meta. Not 2 metas, just 1 meta. Just to have as, like, a spicy demock target or something. I think I'll just take the hit here. I want to go, like, Summon Crane Crash. The only issue with that is then he can end phase or Igeki Break hit my back row, which is Goats, and then I can't activate Goats. I mean, Meta's, like, definitely a good card. I mean, just with Goats, right? Like, we're already playing 3 Goats anyways. And what I like to do is, like, in the early game, just go Goats meta and kind of stall them out for a bit. And in my other reasoning build, I was playing, like, 2 meta, and it just seems like I was never drawing Goats meta together. Every time I had meta, I didn't have Goats. Every time I had Goats, I didn't draw meta. And I don't know, you know, I mean, I guess that's just bad luck. But, you know, that's just kind of what it felt like. And I'm lagging out here. But, I mean, I was playing Fusler in the original build, and Fusler is just not very good. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but, like, I feel like there's kind of a minimum threshold that that cards have to meet to be playable in Reasoning Gate. Okay, I guess the game just kind of kicked us both out there. But the threshold is, like, very high as far as, like, playable monsters. And even as I was talking about, even Air Knight is, like, not a very good card in Reasoning, but sometimes you feel like you're forced to play it because you need the light. But anyways, I'm just gonna try crashing here. Oh, he didn't end phase Raigeki break. That's a huge mistake. That is a huge mistake. Because I called out the Raigeki break, but I didn't think he would do something like this. It's funny if he... Oh, he's solemn. I was gonna say, if he chained Dust Shoot to my True Nade, it would actually be a really sick play for him. I feel like that's something that other decks need to be doing more when Reasoning Gate has a lot of cards in their hand, is not Dust Shooting right away, wait for them to True Nade or Heavy, and then chain the Dust Shoot. But anyways, we only need to do 4,000 now, right? We only need to do 4,000. So he's probably gonna call level 8. My hand is like really... It's really awkward because I have reasoning, gate, and I'd rather have like gate, reasoning. Because he's probably gonna call one of these reasonings correctly. Luckily for me, I'm like an absolute luck sack, and I get Jinzo. And I have Toon Cannon, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna use priority, sack a goat token, burn him for 500, which then opens up a zone to activate another reasoning. Okay. So yeah, my only like reasoning gate hits left are Crane and Demock. Oh, he has book set. I mean, he's acting like he has book set. Okay, so that's fine. I mean, on one hand, it's like we kind of got him to waste the book. Yeah, I wish I had like 2 gates in my hand instead of the second reasoning. I don't know. It is what it is. We just kind of have to activate them both, I think. So yeah, he called 8, which is the correct thing to call. Like, on both reasonings, he has to call 8. That's really, like, the only option. Yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate. And here, I just hope I don't mill my entire deck. I mean, if Crane is the last card in our deck, we deck ourselves out and lose. If it was the second last card in our deck, same deal, basically. These draws are such shit. But yeah, he is in a pretty tough spot here. I mean, he can get out of this, except his hand is like, you know, a bunch of Thunder Dragons. Yeah, now we're just probably gonna lose. Oh, wait, no. Wait, I don't think we do lose. I think he's just dead. Well, it depends. His hand is one more Thunder Dragon. No. Man, if I didn't upstart, he would be dead. Because what I could do is I can Dimension Fusion and sack my guys for 2,000. But then he'd be at 800, so if I, like, hadn't upstarted last turn, he would just be dead. Well, I have... I don't know, I think we just say go. As bad as it feels... Well, that's a mistake. Now he's just making my Dimension Fusion better. So... Still, any Sork or BLS... Any Sork or BLS wins us the game. So next turn, unless... I mean, if he top decks BLS, he can't play it. He can hit us for 23 if he summons a monster. We'll go to 41. And then, yeah, I think we, like, win next turn almost no matter what. So I can draw two. Draw two, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4. What? Hold on. I have Graceful in my deck. Gonna draw two, go to 6. Do I have Reincarnation in there? I have Reincarnation. So Reincarnation would be game. BLS or Sork would be game. Graceful into one of those would also be game. Do I have Upstart? Okay, I have Upstart too. Based on my math, I think I've got like almost a 90% chance for game. It might even be 100%. Because I think this draw two here is almost guaranteed to draw me into game. Okay, so let me make sure. We go boom, boom, vortex. Yeah, that's game. Okay. All right. Interesting game. I'll consider showing you this game. Like after it's over, I'll show you without the blockers, so you can see what decisions I made. It's funny in this matchup, I actually just don't think we side anything, right? Like, look at our side. Is there anything that we bring in? I can't really make an argument for siding in any particular card. I mean, I think you can argue that like MST is better than Trunade, but his build is actually main decking Solemns, and because of that, I think Trunade is clearly better than MST since he's playing at least one Solemn, possibly more. Oh, this is a good hand. I'd give this hand like an 8 out of 10. All right, so he's saying I have Solemn. That's what he's trying to say. So far, the Toon Table Engine hasn't been bad either. All right. Okay, no Solemn on the pot. Sometimes I think you can consider just using Solemn on the pot. Like, I actually don't think it's so bad. Like, I know people act like, oh no, you're never supposed to Solemn a pot agreed. It's the most horrible play ever. But I think sometimes it can genuinely be a decent play. But anyways, my opponent is putting no pressure on me here. I think I'll just set one and say go. He can end phase Raigeki break. If he does that, you know, it's not the end of the world. I think Trunade is better than Decree generally, because Trunade's like the faster card. Decree's really only there for like actual burn decks. I don't know. At a certain point, like, maybe we're just supposed to actually just start attacking. Maybe we can just do this. Like, you gonna Mirror Force my Sacred Crane? Is that what you're about? Oh, he plays Goats. Okay, well that's actually good to, yeah, to get out of the way. That's kind of good to know that that's a thing. We do have to be a little scared that at some point, like, he can summon a Thunder Dragon, meta, and get Bolter. That's really scary. Okay, well, he used his meta. Used one of his metas. Usually they sided like 2 Goats, 2 meta, right? I don't want to end phase discard, and I have 7 in hand. Yeah, I'll just set one, say go. Alright, we're just taking 16. He's got one Thunder Dragon in his hand and something else. Three. Do I want to risk it? Do I want to risk it? Because what I'm worried about here is him going like tribute Thousand Eyes for Thunder Dragon, special summon like a Chaos Monster, hit. If I activate Reasoning, he's going to call level 8. Oh, I think we have to go for it. I think we have to go for it and just kind of hope we get lucky. But it is tough because we gotta out the Thousand Eyes and like 2 goats. And somehow like still push for damage. Oh, he called 6. I don't know why you would call 6. Now you just lose. I think the actual best card to get back is Pot Agreed. Well, hold on. Let me think. Reasoning could be better. We have 2 reasoning targets left in our deck. And then we get to mill our entire deck, swing for game. Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna win this turn. So I'll let you see my hands. I'm just making sure that if we get reasoning, it's guaranteed game. I think it is, though. I think it is genuinely guaranteed game if we just get reasoning. Alright, he called 6 again. I mean, I don't think it's guaranteed game through Karibo. But, like, all of his hand were, like, those were all set traps. So I don't really think he can have a Karibo in his hand. I mean, he called 6. Even if he had called it right, even if he had just called 6 correctly, I still think we would be winning this turn. I mean, it wasn't many people cheating, but it was enough. You know what I mean? It's not about is it many. It's about, like, to me, like, 10% is still too much. That's kind of my viewpoint. Is that 10% is still too much. But anyways, we're just gonna Monster Gate this. The idea here is I'm trying to mill my whole deck. And is Vortex in there? Yeah, Vortex is in there. And then we go, Reincarnation, discard Sacred Crane, get back Sork, special summon Sork, banish, and then we go, Dimension Fusion. And then we're actually 100 short of game 3 Karibo. Maybe there's some way that I could do that. Okay, he just conceded. Alright, So we've gone 4-1 today. I don't know. Maybe this build is just better, guys. What do you think? I mean, the sample size is small, so it's like it's a little hard to draw any strong conclusions. But I don't know, man. I I've been doing pretty well. But I actually think on that last turn I misplayed because it wasn't game through Karibo. I think I should have Dimension Fusion before banishing the Crane so that Hayata's zone open so that I could normal summon Toon Cannon and deal enough damage to be game through Karibo. So in that last game, I actually misplayed. Couldn't you have died to Crane draws there? I mean, if my deck was stacked in such a way that Crane was the last card, then yes, I could have. But, like, I had, like, a 99% chance of not drawing to Crane draws, realistically. Yeah, I mean, so I feel like the main downside of this version, and it might not be, like, a big enough downside to really be something that's a big deal, but I feel like this build has a tougher time, like, dealing with hate, right? Like, dealing with tech cards, like, dealing with Kaiku, dealing with King Tiger, dealing with Jougin. And that's even why, like, I'm not sure if I'm, like, such a fan of, like, swords. Because with swords, the idea is, like, we sided against warriors. But if they've got, like, a King Tiger or a Kaiku, this swords is not really helping us out. Right? So that's why, like, honestly, I think this sword should be, like, a brain control. That's my opinion. I think this sword should be a brain control. Now, the original build actually had 2 token Thanksgiving in the side. I think you only need 1. I think you want 1 as, like, a spicy DMOC target against, like, goat control decks. But I don't think it's just, like, so nuts that, like, you need 2. Especially since Toon Cannon can already get rid of our own goat tokens. Right? So we don't really need it that much to clear our own goat tokens. So personally, I don't think this card is, like, so insane that you want 2 in the side. But this deck in general has, like, a lot of room in the side. So no matter what you're putting in your side, you're gonna have some stuff that's, like, really situational because there's just not, like... This is a deck that doesn't want to side a lot of cards. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold here, I guess. But yeah, let's actually go watch that replay. I said we were gonna go watch the replay. So let's go watch the replay. Yeah, set Raigeki break pass. That play makes sense. So one of the things that I actually like about Jar Greed, and this is super small, and I didn't really realize this until I was playing it. One thing that I like about Jar of Greed is that it gives us something to set, so that if our opponent goes end phase Raigeki break here, he only has a 50-50 shot to hit our goats, right? Like, we don't want him to hit our goats, right? We have, like, Monster Gate and Toon Cannon in our hand. And Jar Greed, like, just is kind of like another random card that you can set to bait their spell or trap removal, but at the same time, if our opponent goes, like, end phase Raigeki break or end phase MST, it's not, like, a big deal. We don't feel like we've, like, really lost something that big. So that's, like, kind of what I like about Jar Greed. And if, like, say we were going first and we went set goat, set jar, we can bait out heavy and then just chain both. So I actually have been liking Jar Greed, like, a little more than I was expecting. Obviously here with Breaker, he's, yeah, and here I decide to just not activate Goats and take the hit, figuring that I can just summon Crane and Crash, and just kind of stall for a while. And I was thinking about, like, he might end phase, Raigeki Break hit our Goats. But my view was, like, even if he does, it's not the end of the world, because our Monster Gate is still live, right? We can still Monster Gate our Toon Cannon. So yeah, like, one of the nice things about, like, you know, this whole Toon Table, Toon Cannon thing is that the Toon Cannon is kind of like a Monster Gate target, and it lets us unclog our board of Goats. The real problem with Toon Cannon is if you don't draw the Toon Table, then you like reasoning into Toon Cannon, and then you kind of hate yourself. But yeah, he doesn't end phase Raigeki Break. Here's the thing. Our opponent, if he's ever played this matchup before, he should know that the other card like has to be something chainable. Like that, again, is fundamentally, I think what a lot of people don't understand about Reasoning Gate is that every single back row they play is chainable. So you should basically never, like, random MST on your turn. You should never, like, Raigeki Break a back row on your turn. You have to end phase everything. And Heavy Storm, like I said, Heavy Storm should normally be sided out. Because Heavy Storm can almost never get value, except in the case of, like, killing a Snatch Steal. Which sometimes they're going to Snatch Steal and sack your guy the same turn anyways. Or they're just going to Snatch Steal and kill you. So yeah, I think... And yeah, this is, like, one of these spots where, like I said on the, you know, when I was playing real time, having, like, a second gate would be a lot better than a second reasoning. Because, like, our Crane is gone, so when we activate reasoning, it's very easy for him to just call level 8. I don't even think I agree with this Solemn. I would probably just let the Trunade resolve. Right? Because, like, your Book of Moon is not that important. Like, paying 4,000 is, like, either... Here's the thing with Trunade, right? Obviously, I'm Trunading so I can push through more damage, but if you Solemn, you're basically dealing yourself 4,000. So yes, the Book of Moon is going to stop damage, but it's not going to stop 4,000 points worth of damage. Right? It's going to stop some damage, but it's not going to stop 4,000. So you might as well just let the Trunade resolve. The only case where, like, Solomon here works out is if I have, like, a Brain Control or a Snatch Steal, and then you get to book and save your guy. That's, like, the only scenario where this Solemn works out in his favor. Yeah, he calls 8. We get the Jinzo. We sack that, deal him 5. He books. We reasoning again, and I believe he calls it correctly. Yeah, he calls 8, and he gets it right. And then we get Crane, because Crane is the only thing we can get. And I decide to upstart here, which is kind of interesting. I upstarted because, well, it's the obvious play. But let's actually think, what if we don't upstart? He's going to take 17, go to 18. He's going to kill the Jinzo. I don't know. It's pretty close whether we should upstart here, I think. Like, in this scenario, if I hadn't upstarted... If I had not upstarted, I would have just immediately won. But the only reason why is because he had exactly Chaos Monster Crossout. And it's like, I can't just be Psychic and just know that my opponent has Chaos Monster Crossout, right? I think in almost any other scenario, holding the upstart would not really make sense. But in this exact scenario, it does make sense. And yeah, I decide to pass here. Like, I can set Dimension Fusion and activate Card Destruction and try to top deck something, but I'm worried that if I go set Dimension Fusion, activate Card Destruction, my opponent can just go, like, Chain Raigeki Break. I mean, it's not Raigeki Break, but he could go Chain Raigeki Break, kill our set Dimension Fusion, and then we're just kind of screwed. This is also a misplay, by the way. And the reason why is because I already have a light in my grave. So, like, getting this light out of my grave doesn't do anything because I already have a light in my grave. If this Sacred Crane was not in my graveyard, I could maybe see an argument for that. And I mean, I guess on one hand, you could say 2 of my Dimension Fusions are gone, but, like, I have gone through almost my whole deck, so it's not exactly out of the question for me to have a 3rd Dimension Fusion. Yeah, and here I'm kind of doing the math. One thing that I considered, because again, I'm like thinking about like Raigeki Break or MST. One thing that we could do is we could go Trunade the Dacros, just, you know, because Raigeki Break or MST are a thing, and then we could go Set Call. And then basically, if it's Raigeki Break, the call is guaranteed to resolve on DMOC. The problem with that is that if he has MST, and he thinks we have call set, he can... I mean, it kind of becomes a mind game where if we call on his turn, he can chain MST on the call. But if he sets the MST, we can end phase call and dodge the MST. Overall, it seemed like a little too risky. And I felt like, okay, the most amount of damage I'm taking next turn, since he doesn't have light or dark in his grave, he can't summon a Chaos Monster. Unless he, like, does something crazy like top deck Graceful, Graceful into light dark, discard light dark, summon BLS. Unless he has something crazy like that, the most damage he can hit me for is 23, right? If he summons a random monster, say he summons a Sangan, attacks token, hits us for 23, we go to 41. And 41 is a lot more than 2,000, so I'm not really scared about dying. But what I know I can do next turn is next turn I'll have 5 cards in hand, we can Trunade the back rows, set Dimension Fusion, activate Card Destruction to draw 2, and it's almost guaranteed to be game, because as soon as we get back a Chaos Monster, or as soon as we get a Chaos Monster, we can go Chaos Monster, Dimension Fusion game. So yeah, so I basically know, unless he goes Graceful into the nuts, we're winning next turn. So, sure enough, I go, okay, we're gonna Trunade. It's kind of nice that we don't have a monster in our hand, so that if our opponent chains Dust Shoot, it doesn't do anything. But yeah, Torrential, Mirror Force, and Raigeki Break. And then we go set this, activate Card Destruction. I wish there was a way we could look at what was in our deck. That would be a good replay feature, because I think almost any combination of cards that we could draw would be guaranteed game. Because we had 2 Chaos Monsters, one Monster Reincarnation, plus, like, Upstart and Graceful in an 8-card deck. So I think it's, like, almost impossible for us to not have game here. I mean, we could look at our grave and try to figure out exactly what was in our deck, but I'm too lazy to do that, and I don't think you guys want to see me do it. But yeah, and then obviously here, this is, you know, pretty straightforward play. We just get back Vortex with DMOC, and then that's game. Now, it's actually interesting, because one of Paede's older builds of this deck did not play Lightning Vortex, and you might think that, like, Lightning Vortex is not very good against a Chaos deck, but it actually is here, because of the fact that he was able to fill up his Banish pile, you know, quite early. And yeah, I think, like, you already saw the end of game 2 with my hand revealed. But yeah, this is like a really strong hand, right? We got Reasoning Gate, you know, Dimension Fusion, Trunade, Pot of Greed. What you want with this deck, you kind of want, like, sort of a buffet of hands, right? You want a hand that's got, like, one of everything. Right? You don't want a hand that has, like, 3 of the same card. You want a hand that's got, like, one of everything. And that's exactly what this hand is. What are his back rows? I'm curious. Goats, Torrential, Solemn, Raigeki Break. I mean, that's pretty strong back row, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Lightning Vortex is basically played in Reasoning Gate and nothing else. I can't think of any Maybe someone will think of another deck, but I can't think of any deck off the top of my head that plays Vortex other than Reasoning Gate. And the reason that you play it is because, again, it's a spicy demuck target, right? That's kind of what this deck wants. You want spicy demuck targets. Like, Vortex is limited to 1 in GOAT format, but even if you could play 3 Vortex, you'd probably still only play 1 in the main deck. Maybe you would, like, side, like, a second Vortex, but you would still only play 1 Vortex, even if it was legal to play more. But yeah, I just passed here. Like, I think what some people would do on turn 1 is they'd go activate Trunade and just try to, like, blow through all their spells. But when you watch Paete, right? Like, if you watch the replays from the tournament where he won, he played this deck so well. And I'll be the first to admit it, guarantee he plays this deck better than I do. But one of the things I learned from watching the replays is that in spots like this, he does not just blow through all his resources. He goes, my opponent is putting no pressure on me. I can just set Jargreed and pass, right? Understand that, like, when your opponent's not pressuring you, it means that it's free to pass, right? If your opponent is not attacking you for damage, it means that you could just keep drawing and passing as much as you want and building up more resources, building up, like, sort of the big combo. And that's exactly, you know, what he would do. And here I have 8 cards in hand. I don't really want to discard down to hand size. I also don't want to go for my combo yet. So we can set a Jargreed. And I'm just going to summon Crane and attack. Because whether the hit goes through or whether it forces out something like this Goat, it's sort of advancing my board. And yeah, we have exactly 6 cards in hand, the perfect amount. He goes Raigeki Break, End Phase. I think that play makes perfect sense for him. Obviously, it was only a Jargreed, but if it was like Goats, you definitely want to make sure you hit that. I actually think if I were my opponent, I would consider... I don't know. I think you could consider tributing for Thunder Dragon and dropping Sork. It puts 1 card in your banish pile, in case I activate Dimension Fusion. You're hitting for 39. I mean, it kind of puts immediate pressure on me. Honestly, I think he's gonna just be losing this game no matter what. I don't think it, like, matters what he would do here. But if you think about what my hand is on average, my hand could easily be a bunch of, like, bad cards, right? And if that's the case, I think you want to attack for damage. But, of course, if you do the Thunder Dragon Sork play, then you can't activate this Raigeki Break. So I think this is fine, too. I think there's kind of pros and cons to both. And here I figure, okay, I'm probably only going to take 16, which is fine. I set this because I don't want to discard down to hand size, and I have 2 Dimension Fusions anyway. So if he Raigeki Breaks, hits this Dimension Fusion, it's not really a big deal. And, I mean, a second Trunade doesn't really do much, but the problem is now I'm scared. I mean, I said this live. I said this on stream. I said, I'm scared my opponent could tribute for Thunder Dragon, drop Sork, and attack me for 39, and then I can't activate Dimension Fusion. And here I have 2 Dimension Fusions. So, like, what I'm even scared about even more is that, like, even if my opponent just hits me for 16... I go down to 32, and now I can only use 1 of my Dimension Fusions. So, yeah, I feel like we're kind of forced to just go for our combo now. Yeah, I mean, he could ring his own guy, but it doesn't accomplish anything. He could consider chaining Raigeki Break, but it's another thing that doesn't accomplish anything, right? Like, this set card is not going to be something important. You know, we're not stupid enough to set, like, a key combo piece here. So, like, you could chain Raigeki Break on that set card, but it's probably not going to accomplish anything. So, yeah, I think our opponent called level 6 on this reasoning. I have absolutely no idea why. What is Jinzo going to do? I mean, I guess what he's worried about is oh, if I don't kill him, I'll have a Jinzo, and then he won't be able to activate his 4 traps. I don't know. To me, you don't have to plan for, well, I don't want him to have Jinzo in case my opponent doesn't kill me. What you have to do is go, I need to call level 8 so that I'm not just dead this turn. Because if you're dead, it doesn't matter how many traps you have in hand. So I definitely think my opponent made a huge mistake here by calling 6 on reasoning. You know, no matter what level he calls, he has a 1 in 3 chance of calling the reasoning correctly, because there's 1 Crane, 1 Jinzo, 1 Demok. You got a 1 out of 3 chance, so you call the most impactful level, which in this case, I think is very clearly 8. I kind of had hoped we would have milled like more spells off this reasoning before hitting the Demok, but, you know, first world problems. My 2 options here were reasoning and Pot of Greed. I decided to get back reasoning, and the reason why is because I'm not so concerned with my opponent calling the level correctly. You know, I'm always planning for the worst case scenario, so I assume if we get back reasoning and activate it, our opponent's going to call the right level. But I still don't care, because what I want to do is I want to mill my entire deck so that I have the largest number of options on this Demok. Because I'm going to trigger this Demok at least 1 more time this turn, if not 2 more times. So when I'm triggering this Demok, I want to have the largest number of spells in my grave possible. And the way that we do that is by activating another reasoning and milling them all. That was my logic. So he called 6. I believe he called it wrong. I believe we just got like a Crane. But even if he had called 6 here, for the sake of the argument, even if he had called 6, we still would have won. And I misplayed here. I should have just activated Dimension Fusion right away. Obviously, we're going to go Monster Reincarnation, discard Crane for Sork. That's all part of the plan. And then we're going to drop Sork. That's obviously part of the plan. But the issue here is that I want to be able to normal summon Toon Cannon and use the effect so that it would be game through Karibo. And now I can't normal summon the Toon Cannon because my board is full. So again, the issue with this play here is that this is not game through Karibo. So again, this was a misplay. What I should have done is activated the Defusion before banishing the Crane. This, you know, this Crane would be gone. I could normal summon Toon Cannon, and then, you know, we can launch our Demok, Dimension Fusion, get back Demok, get back Vortex, Toon Cannon launches all of our stuff again, and then that would be game through Karibo. This was not game through Karibo. So that was definitely a misplay. But otherwise, I think it was well played. So let's play one more match. Yeah, I think probably just one more match. Yeah, just one more match, and then I'm gonna call it a day. I haven't been Karibo that many times, but people, like, Karibo is an actual card that people side against Reasoning Gate. Like, you could look at top deck lists, and you will see it in there. Like, it's not like this is some obscure card that no one plays. Now, maybe my particular opponents weren't siding it, or maybe they didn't draw it, or whatever. But it's free to play around Karibo, right? Like, if you can deal more damage and win through Karibo, you know, why wouldn't you? Oh, this is a really nice hand. And it's interesting that it has drop off and a set monster. You don't see that too much. It could be like a Mask of Darkness style deck. Yeah, I mean, no one really mains Karibo, so I'm not really going to be too concerned about it in game 1, but game 2, you definitely do need to be concerned about Karibo. Like, it is an actual real card. My opponent could go, like, Mask of Darkness, chop off me again, but I think that's fine. I think he should have played Tsukiyomi main phase 2. Would have been more damage. You know what playing this deck has made me realize? Monster Gate is such a better card than Reasoning. I mean, obviously you're going to play 3 of both regardless. But I always end up in these situations where I wish my Reasonings were Monster Gates. He called level 6, by the way. He's got a Tsukiyomi in his hand. And 2 cards that we don't know. Oh, he called 8, and it's funny because I just drew D-Mock off of the crane. I have to assume my opponent's deck has a 3rd spy. But yeah, I think we go D-Mock, get back Dimension Fusion. Monster Reincarnation for Sork. Or no, we can... Monster Reincarnation. Discard. Get back. Normal summon. Oh, I think maybe this way's better. I think this way is better, but I could be wrong. Oh no, I fucked it up. For some reason, I messed this up. I messed this up so much. Because I was going to go Tribute for D-Mock, get back Dimension Fusion, and then I was like, wait, no, I can do it this way. But then I realized if I do it this way, then I don't have Dimension Fusion. Like, I did this utterly wrong. I did this like in the absolute worst possible order. I mean, I'm gonna try to salvage it, but I'm probably just gonna lose now. Yeah, I'm just gonna lose now. Unless my opponent's hand is like Tsukiyomi plus 3 traps that he can't use. Even so, he can like, if he has like a Solemn in his hand, I mean, I heavy to, but if he has another Solemn, he could just Tsukiyomi the Jinzo and then Solemn it. Yeah, I fucked this up so badly. This is my bad, guys. To be fair, I haven't played this build of the deck, too much. And yeah, I don't know why he took so long to activate Drop Off. Like, I went through my phases. If he goes like Tsukiyomi on Toon Cannon, cross out, attack, 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 23, 46, that would put me at 11. My opponent could just be attacking me for so much more damage, but he isn't. Oh, this is hard. Oh, I hate this. What's his set monsters? Probably either like Faith or Mask. If it's Faith, he could get back Snatch. If it's Mask, he can get back Drop Off. Or Solemn. Yeah, he could get back Solemn. I mean, this is gonna sound crazy, but I can card destruction for 1 card. There's a 1 out of 9 chance it's Dimension Fusion, and there's another 1 out of 9 chance it's Graceful. I think I have to card destruction, and hope this card is what I need. Nope, it's not. We just concede. Yeah, I punted, like, really, really badly, in a really embarrassing fashion. At least we know what to side in. This is pretty easy side. Hard part is always what to side out. I don't think Vortex is gonna be very good in this matchup. Because he's just playing, like, all face-down stuff. And then, like, Jaragreed, I guess. Like, we could draw Jaragreed after Decree, and that's not fun. I think we'll just try this. Yeah, we'll just try this. We really should have won. Yeah, we just go Tribute for Democ. Get back Dimension Fusion. Reincarnation. Discard the Toon Cannon. Get back Sork. Drop Sork, Dimension Feed. Yeah. I absolutely threw that game. This hand is not very good, actually. I mean, it depends. It depends. We could get lucky, but this hand is not very good. I mean, Upstart's better than Jaragreed, and we're playing 3 Jaragreeds. If anything, like, sometimes I kind of just wish that our deck had, like, more of that sort of effect. What I was hoping is that I would draw, like, a Demock, and then drop off with discard, like, a Demock, or discard a Jinzo. But that was not the case. We'll just say go. Yeah, we'll just take the hit. This game could go either way, I think. Hmm. Yeah, I don't like this spot. I feel like I'm behind, so I'm gonna take the risky play. That's interesting. Yeah, I think this game's winnable. I think it's. I'd say I might even be favored. I mean, the life points are a little scary. Yeah, Sengen's fine. I don't care about Sengen. Okay, you've got a Sengen. Who cares? I mean, I could attack Sengen, but I don't really want to give my opponent, like, a free search. I mean, most decks Token Thanksgiving isn't that great, because again, we have Toon Cannons already clear our own goats. Like in this spot, I have a Scapegoat, but even here, I wouldn't want to have a Token Thanksgiving in my hands. We can do some interesting stuff. We can go. I guess I'll just say go. I don't really have a better play than just saying go, I think. I don't want to turn my Crane to defense, because then he can run it over and try to attack me with Reaper. Well, he has Sinister in his grave that he's been forgetting for a couple of turns. I mean, I'm gonna attack this monster, I think, right? We're gonna attack this monster. Probably like a mask. Oh no, it's the third spy. I mean, that's fine too. It's funny, I did side out Vortex, but this would be like... I wasn't expecting him to have Spirit Reaper. And now it's like I don't even know how I get rid of this Spirit Reaper, because I sided out my Vortex. I think I'll just go to end phase, discard my Demock, and say go. Man, I really do wish sometimes I had the Mirror Torrential to punish these people. I think my opponent is taking a massive risk. Oh wait, no, am I just dead? Oh no, I'm not dead. 24. 24. I still think this is a pretty big risk. Oh, he got rid of the Trunade. Yeah, now I can't pre, though. The problem is now I just can't pre, or Dimension Fusion. Man. I don't know, maybe I should have done something last turn. I don't know, I mean, we'll just... probably say we've got a very low chance to win. Alright, he called 6, which is the correct level for him to call. And now he saw my Royal Decree, so he can prepare for that. Okay, well, we got the Crane. This is how it starts. This is how it starts. Alright, are we just gonna go balls to the wall? Do we just, like, hope our opponent's back row is nothing? Yeah, I think we just hope our opponent's back row is nothing. Alright, he just conceded. He conceded and left the game. To be honest, I actually do agree with our opponent's play. Like, I know his play, like, lost him the game, but it only lost him the game because, like, we just got kind of lucky. But yeah, now we kind of have to leave the Vortex in, because he plays Spirit Reaper. And, like, if we don't leave the Vortex in, we just have, like, no way to ever kill that Spirit Reaper. So, yeah, I guess we just take the Jar out. Because, again, the Jar kind of conflicts with Decree anyways. I don't like citing out, like, tons of card draw. I mean, we still have some card draw, I guess. So yeah, game 1 we punted. Game 2 we got lucky and won. Really, we probably just should have 2-0'd this guy, but we're gonna have to move on to game 3. I think he's gonna get back, right? He's gonna get back in the next 12 seconds. Oh man, if he times out here, I think we have to play one more match. We can't end a match on a timeout. All right. Well, I mean, we do count that as a win. But I want to sorry. I want to watch the replay of game 1. We won't watch the replay of game 2 because it really wasn't that interesting. We can watch the replay of game 2. But I want to watch this one too. No, he didn't. He was going first for game 3 and his deck is a bunch of time seals and drop-offs. Like, I actually think, like, his deck might be favored in the matchup, just because his deck is all time seals and drop-offs. That is, like... Oh, wait, sorry, this is the wrong person. Sorry, we gotta wait for this to refresh. Okay, 46 seconds ago. So yeah, I actually just went full retard in game 1. Yeah, this is pretty easy. And I'm like, even if he drop-offs or time seals me again, we've still got, like, a Jar Greed. This is definitely a misplay here. Well, I don't know. I guess you could argue that this plays around Mirror Force better. I don't know. It's the old, do you want to hit for 100 extra damage? Or would you, like, rather get your... No! See, here's the thing. Because if I Mirror Force his 2 spies, then he can just set Mask, and that's better anyways. So yeah, this is a misplay. This is actually a misplay. This does 100 less damage, and it plays worse into Mirror Force. And in fact, I don't even know if you want to Tsukiyomi the Spy. Because he kind of knows the matchup, right? If he's smart, he knows what the matchup is. There's a Sork in our grave, and we Toon-tabled for Toon Cannon. So he should know that this is Reasoning Gate. And what you want to do is you want to just set the Mask and start locking us out with, like, Tsukiyomi drop-off Mask. This is, I think he played this turn entirely wrong. Yeah, and he called 6. He called 6 on this reasoning, which I also think is a massive mistake. Even if we get Jinzo, he has Snatch Steal for it. Why are you so scared of Jinzo? You have 0 traps in your hand, and you have a Snatch Steal. So yeah, I think this is an utterly insane reasoning call. Obviously there, it didn't matter, because we got Crane anyway. But calling 6 on this reasoning makes absolutely no sense. Now he calls 8, which is the correct thing to call, and what he should have called in the first place. Now we get Jinzo. And then what we should do is we should go double sack for Jinzo, get back Dimension Fusion, Monster Reincarnation, discard Toon Cannon, get back Chaos Sorcerer, special summon Chaos Sorcerer by banishing Crane and Toon Cannon, Dimension Fusion, or no, and then go... Yeah, Dimension Fusion, everything back. Hold on. Yeah, we would go double sack, Demok, discard, to get Chaos Sork. Yeah, and then we'd go, to go Chaos Sork, banish, Jinzo Crane, Dimension Fusion them back, draw a card, and then attack over everything. But instead, like an idiot, I thought, wait, why can't I just do this? and just But then I realized if I do it in this order, I don't have the Dimension Fusion. And I was like an utter idiot. So, yeah. So I did it in this order. Like a massive moron. And then that basically caused me to lose the game. So yeah, we lost this game. We lost this game, you saw it on stream. I mean, I have this card destruction. Yeah, he snatches. For some reason, he doesn't flip Sork up. Like, he can flip Sork up and just attack over my board, but he doesn't. And then, for some reason, he takes forever to drop off me. You can see that I did not cheat. I discarded the correct card. And then, for some reason, he banishes this instead of attacking it, which I also think is a mistake. And then here I decide... I figured if I snatched... Here is my logic here. I'm like, okay, if I snatch, I can attack over this, but then he flips up Mask and gets back Solemn, and then it's going to be very hard to win after that. So instead, I just took the, like, 2 out of 9 chance to get a Dimension Fusion off this card destruction. I did not get it, so we just conceded. I was really hoping I'd draw one of my decrees in this game, but I did not. Yeah, our opponent's hand is not very strong. Yeah, I just decided to take the hit. We could go tier, but like, I don't have a monster gate, so I decided to just take the hit. And yeah, I would rather just block the hit. Not really a fan of having like double Trunade. I actually hated this so much, because my plan was, like, to crash Crane into the tribe, and then we can, like, pre the Crane, draw another card. But it just didn't work. And yeah, here I felt like I didn't have anything I could do. Right? Because, like, I don't really want to just let him get a free search of Sangan. Like, just let him get whatever his best card is, whether it's, like, Tsukiyomi or Mask, whatever. So, yeah, I don't really want to do that, but then I also don't want to turn this to defense, because then he can try to hit me with Reaper. And then I also don't want to set Toon Cannon, because then if he, like, goes Breaker, I can't activate Goats. So I just kind of felt like, okay, well, I mean, I can't activate Pre, can't attack with Crane, can't set Toon Cannon, so we basically just can't do anything. Double Snare. That is actually such a hilarious card, because we did side in Decrees. Double Snare hits... Double Snare hits Decree and Jinzo. Yeah, we just activate Toon Table, thin out our deck. And I'm feeling pretty safe here. Right? I attack because I figure, well, if it's Mask, I want to attack. If it's Spy, I only take 4. It was a Spy. We go end phase, discard Demox so that we can pre it back in a future turn. Maybe not the next turn, but in a future turn. Because we can't even discard Demox with Monster Reincarnation, because we don't have a legal target. So, yeah, we just say go. And then he top decks the Tsukiyomi. Decides to go for this crazy play, which honestly I can kind of get on board with. I don't know, but man, you have like no back row. It's debatable, man. It's debatable. I mean, he does effectively brick 2 cards in our hand, though. He hits the Trunade, which is like the best card in our hand. That or Reincarnation, those are the 2 best cards in our hand. And then he sets that. And then I'm just like, well, I'm at 600. I have to Reasoning. He calls 6, which is, again, it's the correct thing for him to call here. And then I'm like, well, my only play... My only play is just a reincarnation for BLS, which we were lucky enough to mill. If we had milled Sork, he wouldn't have been dead, right? Because if he had milled Sork, we could have done 33. But we milled BLS, so yeah, that was game. And then he just quit. All right, we'll do one more. We'll do one more. You know, I will say it's like what I said. The main downside to this deck is it's harder to deal with like people's hate cards, like Kaiku, King Tiger, Jowgen. But we haven't seen any of those cards all day. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like our luck has been really good in that particular sense. Summon Giant Rat, say go. So this is either zombies or Earth aggro. This is actually kind of tough. If it's Earth aggro, he could like summon a goblin and hit us for like 37. Maybe I'm okay with that. I don't know, I think we'll do this. I was considering going to end phase and discarding one of my cards in hand. But the scary thing about going end phase discard is that it kind of lets our opponent know what we're playing and our board is completely open. So I was like, I think that's too risky. Oh, this is a really good top deck. I top deck Toon Cannon, which is just nice because it like thins out all of our stuff. I mean, not you know what I mean. It thins out our deck of like Toon Cannon. Oh, it's Panda Burn. Yeah, I forgot that Panda Burn is like an actual thing. Um, Sorry, let me think. So we'll take 14, 32. I think this is fine. Okay, so this comes into play. And then now we'll take 18. I think we have a shot to win this turn. All right, he called 8, which is probably what he should be calling. Uh, this is kind of tough. I mean, he can pay twice with Lily. All right, he called 8. Okay, I think we can probably win because I have the DMOC in my hand. I didn't say it on stream in case my opponent was stream sniping, but I had the DMOC in my hand, so I figured he would call 8 on both reasonings, and then they would, you know, get the stuff that we want them to get. And we got kind of lucky here because we still have 3 cards in our deck. I have Graceful Charity. I don't have Dimension Fusion, but I do have DMOC in my hand. So if we double sack for DMOC, we can get back what? We can get back, like, Snatch? We can get back Pre? Or we can go... We can go Reincarnation, DMOC for Reincarnation, drop BLS and Sork. Or we can go... Get back Dimension Fusion. I think if we get back Dimension Fusion, he's just dead, right? So we go get back Dimension Fusion. Um... Or we can go get back. We can also get back, we can go snatch. Oh no, we can just go snatch for Lily, attack for game. I think that's just guaranteed game, right? Because we're doing 34, 28. Reincarnation, banish rat. Yeah, we could just go snatch and that's guaranteed game. Yeah, 34, 28 is 62. I mean, not unless this guy literally has Karibo. Yes, I have been stream sniped before. I'm not paranoid, guys. It's happened in at least 4 instances that I can recall 100%. And again, the issue isn't so much that I think my opponent will, from the start of the game, be like, yeah, I know about this guy's stream and I'm gonna go watch. The issue is I have literally had people in my chat message my opponent on DuelingBook and say, hey, here's this guy's stream. Go watch it so you can see his entire hand. And the reason that I know that's happened is because in the scenarios where that happened, some of my opponents who are ethical people have said, hey, just so you know, there are people in your chat that are trying to DM me your hand. Right? That's the reason that I know, is because my opponents have told me. Now, again, I assume 90% of my opponents won't tell me. They'll just take the free information. But I have had opponents that have just straight up told me, hey, your chat is DMing me and telling me what your hand is. It's funny, this is weird, because I want to side in Token Thanksgiving, but I almost feel like I want to side out my scapegoat. And by the way, the thing where my opponent was like, or sorry, the thing where my chatters were DMing my opponent my hand, that actually wasn't on YouTube, that was on Twitch. Now I just stream on YouTube. So it hasn't happened on YouTube yet, but I figure if it can happen on Twitch, it can happen on YouTube as well. We'll try this. This might be the wrong way to side, but I'm gonna try it. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. 3 scapegoat is bad. I don't know. We'll try this then. We'll try this. I mean, it is still kind of like a key combo piece for the deck, but it's not as key of a combo piece because we have Toon Table to search Toon Cannon to serve as a Monster Gate target. In like a normal build or Reasoning Gate, the goats are more important, but in this build, it's like not quite as important. In spots like this, though, having Scapegoat would be kind of nice, right? Uh... I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go for it. See, if he like chains something like Ojometrio here, it puts him in a really tough spot. Yeah, like if he has Ojometrio set, I just wouldn't even chain it. Yeah, I just straight up would not even chain it. I don't know what I would call. I don't think you call 6 here. I think you either call 8 or 4. Oh, he actually did call 6. I would probably call 8. To me, I think D-Mock is like the scariest card that I could get here. My hand is not really what I was hoping for. Ooh, now it's getting good. Now it's getting good. Yeah, I don't even think I need this heavy storm. I just don't even need this heavy storm. And I don't even really care about what I get off the skate. Anything at all would be helpful. To be honest, I think I don't want Jinzo, because Jinzo is basically just a 2400 vanilla here. I mean, D-Mock would be the best one. D-Mock is just, you know, get fucked. I didn't really want Jinzo. Yeah, I didn't really want Jinzo. Yeah, I mean, this isn't game, but it's still, like, almost game. And almost game is still pretty close to game. Plus, if I draw something off this crane that's really good, then, like, it will be game. I'm gonna put this Toon Cannon in defense, just so that I remember that it cannot attack. Oh, wait, I think it is game. It is game. 20... Yeah, this is just game. I'm gonna do a cool play here. I'm gonna go Toon Cannon, launch the Sork. And then we just go pre-back the Sork, and then that's game. Yeah, this was actually just FTK straight up. We won in our first battle phase. Well, technically we're gonna win in our main phase too, but you know what I mean. But yeah, this is my hand. My opponent said your deck looks really consistent. I don't know whether he's being sarcastic or not, but I don't think he is being sarcastic. I think he's being genuine. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're just rolling with this deck now. Today we went 5-1. I mean, I definitely had some misplays. But yeah, we just got him. Dude, the Toon Cannon's been sick, I'm not gonna lie. Realize that Toon Cannon made our premature live, and it in total could deal 2500 damage. Yeah. So my wife got home. I'm gonna you know, end the stream now. I will say I do think this is better than the old build. And, it's funny. It's like I'll have people ask me a lot of questions about Reasoning Gate in the relation of, or from the point of view of, oh, I want to play Reasoning Gate, but I want to make it like more of a control deck. And I've always told people that's bad, but I kind of like fell into the same trap myself, which is that this build of the deck, it is definitely still a combo deck, but it is it is less of a combo deck. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a spectrum. And this version of the deck is a lot more all in on the combo aspect than this is. This deck is like, oh, we're trying to combo like 90% of the time, but sometimes we can win a game with Goat's meta, or sometimes we can like win a game with like drawing some cards with Air Knight, or sometimes we can win a game with like going +1 a couple of times with Blowback. This build is definitely still a combo deck, but it is less of a combo deck than this build, and this seems to be doing better because we get to our combo faster. And I think a lot of times the trap that people fall into is I'm going to play like a slower, more like control-y deck because I'm a good player and I'm going to outplay my opponents. And I think that is a trap. And in a way, I think that perspective is kind of arrogant. Again, that's why I play combo decks. Not because I think that I'm going to outplay my opponent, but because I think I'm not going to outplay my opponent. If I thought I could just outplay my opponents all the time, maybe I would play something like Goat Control, right? Because that's the attitude that Goat Control players have. Oh, the deck is so flexible, I can just play all these weird cards and outplay my opponent. Sometimes, but not always. So yeah, maybe I just got lucky today. Only a sample size of 6. Yes, we went 5-1, but we'll have to see next time. I'll probably stream again on Monday. That's 2 days from now. And I will use this list again. But so far, I've been liking the list. I don't really have any complaints. My main thing is that I don't really know what to side in and out in certain matchups. So if any of you guys like know the person who actually built this deck, Paede, if you know him, and you know like, oh, he sides this way, I would, you definitely can't main Crossout in Reasoning Gate. For one thing, realize that like something like a third of the meta isn't even vulnerable to Crossout, right? Because like Warriors, Earth Aggro, and Mirrors collectively are about like a third of the meta. So like with Crossout already, I don't want to play something that is dead versus like a third of the meta. And even in the matchups where it's not dead, often it's not what you need, right? Because like if your opponent sets Spy turn 1, well, they're going to like flip Spy on turn 2 and then start attacking you with the Spies. So what you want in that scenario is you don't want Crossout, you want like Lightning Vortex. And it's like, okay, if your opponent like goes first and they open like Duo Set Faith or something, like yes, it's good to have Crossout there, but you're not going to magically draw Crossout every time your opponent has Duo Faith, right? Like that's when people like recommend situational cards, I think they often have the view of, oh, this card is good in this situation, therefore I will draw that card in that situation. But obviously with situational cards, there's no guarantee that you're going to draw them in the situation where it's good. Something like Raigeki Break is generally better than Crossout, I think, because it does everything that Crossout does and more. And in this deck, you don't care about going -1. Like, yes, Raigeki Break is a -1, but like it deals with more stuff. So if you were to main Crossout, I would say just play Raigeki Break instead. Or like the one card I'd love to fit in this deck is just one copy of meta. Just one copy of meta to work with Scapegoat and be a spicy demuck target. And Goat's meta is another way that you can deal with threats, whether they're face-up monsters or face-down monsters. So in the main deck, I think meta is better than Crossout, and I think Raigeki Break is better than Crossout. And post-side, I think, I mean, it hasn't really worked out, But post side, I think you could put a mind control in here, and then side in mind control for like some of the sort of standard chaos style decks. You can mind con a Faith, you can mind con a Dekochi, you can mind con a Sork. And like I think that can work as like a one of that you can side in. Not saying it's great, but again, I think crossout is way too situational to play in the main. And I think there's better options. And even in the side, I think there's better options. So it's not that crossout is like the worst ever card you could play, but it doesn't really contribute to your combo that much. Especially if like game one, if you like cross out a spy and they just banish all three of their spies, well then now like your Dimension Fusion is like not a good card unless you have Vortex to clear all the spies. So yeah, I would definitely not main crossout because it's not good against a third of the meta, and even like the 2/3 of the meta where it is live, it still isn't that good. So yeah, wouldn't play it. I had people also asking me about Sinister. Same idea with Sinister. This is not a control deck. This is a combo deck. You don't want cards that are like 1-for-1s or situational +1s. What you want are like -1s that help you combo, you know? Monster Reincarnation, a -1 that helps you combo. That's the kind of stuff that you want here. So yeah, I'm going to call it a day. Seems like the reception to the stream was good.